and today we're recapping a romantic fantasy anime named Vermeil in Gold. So sit tight and enjoy the video. The anime opens at the Ortigia Academy of Magic. A brilliant but shy student, Alto, is getting his summoning exam results from his teacher. Unfortunately, he failed the exam, and teacher tells him to summon and form a contract with a familiar, or else he will be held back a grade. After that, he knew his childhood friend, Aurelia. She expresses her anger toward the teacher, but Alto calms her down by saying teacher gave him one last chance to summon a familiar. While he's trying to figure out this problem, a book fell at his head. To his surprise, it is a summoning book, and he performs a spell inside the book. He successfully summoned a demon girl named Vermeil. She then asks Alto what he wants her to do, and Alto answers, forming a contract between them. In exchange, she forces him to drain his mana. She also attempts to seduce him, but he refuses and tells her to put some clothes on. After that, she explains she is a demon, and was imprisoned inside the book for a long time. The next day, Alto presents Vermeil to the teacher as his familiar. Because she had conceals her horns and tail, the teacher don't believe him, until Vermeil show him the summoning seal. During the class, Vermeil cuddles and sit on Alto's lap, making Lilia jealous. After the class end, Lilia challenges them to a duel. If she wins, Vermeil will stay away from Alto, and if Alto wins, she will obey one command from him. Hearing this, she couldn't contain herself. At the duel stage, Lilia summons her familiar, Sylphide, and unleashes a powerful wind attack. But Vermeil effortlessly blocks it. Then she uses her demon magic to arouse Lilia until she forfeits. Thus Alto wins the duel, and he orders Lilia to be friends with Vermeil. Back home, Vermeil tells Alto that Lilia is in love with him, but he doesn't believe her. She then kisses him and drains his mana again. She explains that she needs his mana to retain her physical form. She then says there is a more efficient way to extract mana from him, but he stops her and says kissing is fine. While walking to school, a rampaging dragon appears, and with a flick, Vermeil sends the dragon to the sky. Alto then scolds her for drawing attention to herself, but he realizes her opbi are the two main reasons. They then have their usual class, where Lilia is still jealous at Vermeil. After class, the dragon's owner and his gay brother, Max, threatens them to a fight to avenge his little brother. Alto manages to trap Rex in his crystal magic, but he summons his dinosaur familiar and attacks Alto. Just then, Vermeil supercharges Alto's mana, allowing him to defeat them with his crystal magic. They then return home, and Vermeil asks Alto what he wants in life. So, he replies his dream is to be a platinum square mage, which is the highest ranking any mage can achieve. Hearing this, Vermeil promised to make his dream come true. The next day, they and Lilia meet their friends, Marx and Cheryl. At that moment, they are summoned by the headmaster of the school. The headmaster says whoever can retrieve a fairy flower from the forest will be the class representative. As they race, Marx is knocked out by a man-eating plant, forcing Cheryl to tend to him. They then find the flower on top of a hill, but it is guarded by a Cerberus. Lilia then pulls out an invisibility potion and drinks it. However, her clothes are not affected, forcing her to discard them. Unfortunately, the Cerberus could smell her scent, rendering her invisibility useless. So, Vermeil requests to drain Alto's mana again to save Lilia. Alto distracts the Cerberus and orders Lilia to get the flower, before Vermeil unleashes her power and knock it out. After Lilia gets the flower, her invisibility wears off. In her embarrassment, she drops the flower, and the flower blows away into Cheryl's hands. With this, Cheryl wins the competition and becomes the class representative. The others then congratulate her, and Lilia says she won't lose to Alto again. The following morning, Vermeil enjoys eating modern food for the first time, as she has been trapped for hundreds of years. Just then, a group of dragon riders pass by the sky, with the leader of the group, Chris, leading the pack. After PE class, Marx and Lilia explain to Vermeil that Chris is an executive officer of the student council. And they are the only golden square mages in the academy, which make Alto envy of their achievement. Later, Cheryl encourages Lilia to confess her feelings to Alto, while Lilia wonders if Vermeil is really human given her incredible power. Meanwhile, Vermeil makes a scene by following Alto into the boys' locker room. While walking back home, they ran into the student councils, and Chris gave a mean look to Vermeil. That night, Chris beats up Rex for losing to an underclassman, and mock his weak dragon. Because of this, Rex decides to quit the Dragon Riders group. He is then sent to the infirmary, where Alto and the gang went to check up on him. After he learns what had happened, he angrily challenges Chris to a duel. Lilia tries to stop him, but to no avail. Chris accepted the challenge, and summoned her dragon familiar, Whirlwind. Vermeil then supercharges Alto's mana by kissing him. But Chris' fire spells are too powerful. She shatters Alto's crystal easily, and manages to damage Vermeil even though she blocks them. Nonetheless, Chris is surprised that Vermeil is able to block all of his attack without any protection. Vermeil and Alto then goes all out, crushing Chris with his crystals. But her dragon saves her from the attack, and she then boasts that dragons are the ultimate beings, and all other creatures, including dinosaurs, are inferior. Meanwhile, two members of the student council watch the duel in their meeting room. Determined to prove Chris wrong about her beliefs, Vermeil supercharges Alto again and he makes a huge crystal construct. As it turns out, they are using the crystal as a distraction to leap up to Chris, enabling Alto to get closer to Chris, thus winning the duel. Due to his victory, Alto becomes popular with the ladies, making Lilia jealous and forcing Cheryl to hold her back. Alto then meets Professor Obsidian. Professor congratulates him for winning, but lectures him to not take duels lightly. Meanwhile, Chris is doing her own chores, because she lost the match. Surprisingly, she apologizes to Rex for before, and Rex seems to forgive her. That night, while Alto is sleeping, Vermeil tries to seduce Alto again, but he says they should only kiss someone they love. So she replies, Troubled by her confession, he asks Professor Obsidian about human and demon romances. He replies demons only want humans for their mana. So, while Alto and Vermeil are having dinner, he confronts Vermeil about this, asking if she is only here for his mana. But she proves she loves him by kissing him without draining him. Vermeil then turns it around and asks if he loves him. But Alto simply replies he is not ready yet. The next day, Obsidian seduces a student, and injects her with something and even leaves her frozen in ice. After she is found and rescued, she is left in a coma. In the student council office, both vice president of the council, Ryuga, and the chair of the dueling committee, Jessica, discuss about this incident. Jessica demands Ryuga to find out the perpetrator before leaving. Meanwhile, Alto's class is assigned to write reports on their familiars, which Alto reluctantly measures Vermeil's body for the assignment. Outside, Lilia jealously spies on them with the invisibility potion. After trusting Cheryl with her clothes, Lilia manages to sneak into Alto's room, where Alto gently touches Lilia by accident, leaving her in a bliss. On his report, Alto lists Vermeil's likes as sweets, but Vermeil adds Alto. Meanwhile, a seemingly possessed Rex and his mutated dinosaur beat up Chris and her dragon. The anime continues in a flashback. A young Rex had just summoned his first familiar, which is a giant egg. Where it is then he met Chris for the first time, and she and Rex are both excited to see the egg hatch, believing it to be a dragon. Back in the present, Alto is doing some shopping with Vermeil. However, she is disappointed when Alto refuses to buy her dessert, as he is running short on money. So, Vermeil acts childishly and refuses to move, causing Alto to finally give in. Elated, Vermeil embarrasses Alto by giving him a big slap. Just then, Rex's brother shows up in a panic, and requests for their help to stop his brother. At the other side, Rex continues to beat up Chris while belittling her at the same time. In his mutated state, he can withstand any fire spells cast by Chris, and he seems to grow even stronger with every passing minute. As his brother, Alto, and Vermeil arrive, Rex diverges his attention onto Alto instead, claiming it is for his revenge. When Rex is channeling his spells, Vermeil seems to recognize the mana he is using. Surprisingly, the student council president, Orlena Kimberlite, arrives and knocks Rex and his dinosaur out cold with her sword, even destroying the growths on his body. Alana then asks Vermeil about the power Rex was using, but she claims she doesn't know it either. With Rex in the infirmary, the student councils are conducting an investigation to find out the perpetrator behind this. As an exam is coming up, Lilia is getting excited and encourage Alto to study hard as to not fail the exam. Vermeil then unexpectedly walks away claiming she is tired and needs some rest, and Lilia is eager to study with Alto alone. While walking back, Vermeil encounters Obsidian and immediately she knew he is the one behind all of this. She urges him to stop, and even threaten him if he ever hurt Alto. Out of nowhere, he injects her with an unknown serum, causing her to release all of her dark energy. Meanwhile, Lilia is trying her hardest to seduce Alto, but she is stopped by the sudden burst of dark magic from outside. Everyone in the vicinity including Alana also senses this, prompting her to rush to the scene. But, she is then stopped by a monster summoned by Obsidian. Back to Vermeil, she has transforms into an uncontrollable monster, while Obsidian gloats about the power of her true form. As Elena battles with the monster Obsidian summoned, Obsidian wraps a magic chain around Vermeil's neck to control her. When Alto and Lilia arrive at the scene, Obsidian gloats that he was the one who causes all of this by injecting them with a demon essence to further his crazy research about demons, but now he has a real demon on his hand. This enrages Alto, seemingly supercharge Vermeil's power, breaking the chain that's holding her, and she attacks Obsidian. But, Alto shields him from the attack, and is impaled by her claws. Enraged, she attacks Obsidian again, but Alto once again blocks her, and tells her not to kill before collapsing. Now returned to normal, Vermeil revives Alto from the dead using the golden mana. Seeing this, Obsidian starts to freak out, saying demons are not supposed to heal, then injects himself with his own formula, and transforms into a hideous demon, declaring he will kill them all. Not fazed by his threats, Vermeil effortlessly punches a hole through him, causing him to panic and tries to fly away, but he is quickly shot down by Chris, and Vermeil knocks him out. Now back from the death, Lilia tearfully embraces Alto, and she is glad to see he is fine. Meanwhile, the monster Elena is fighting state they will meet again before retreating. After this is over, Alto expresses his gratitude towards Vermeil for saving his life. However, when Vermeil explains to him that, in order to save him from death, she linked their life forces together, meaning if one of them dies, the other will die as well, making Alto angry as to why she would sacrifice her immortality for him. Now with Obsidian being arrested, all of his victims finally wake up from their comas. That night, after Vermeil transfer her demon mana into Alto to sustain his now demon heart, he confront Vermeil for ignoring him recently. She explains that she is an ugly monster, and she will leave him once his heart stabilizes, which Alto reply he doesn't care and kisses her, proving that he loves her no matter what, leaving her flustered. Thanks for watching the video. Still want to watch more anime recap? Click the videos on the screen to watch more. And don't forget to subscribe to catch the latest upload. Bye!